is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Jules Sterling, and I make sure the million-dollar contracts don't go up in flames.
I'm Buck Reynolds.
I'm Dan Miller.
And I'm Elena Rossi. We have a great show for you today.
Right? After yesterday's whirlwind tour of Maersk's profits, AI cargo theft, and those terrifying pedalless trucks Buck hated, we've got a packed episode for July 1st.
We're looking at a real shift today, from the AI hype cycle crashing into reality at Ford to a total customs cliff in Europe. It's a busy day for the books.
Definitely. Let's just dive right in. Dan, you've been tracking this AI pivot?
Right. So look, the big story this morning is Ford. They're rehiring 350 veteran engineers. Basically the same people they probably automated out of a job a while back.
Told you. You can't just replace a guy who spent 30 years smelling a failing bearing with a line of code.
Well, the thing is, the AI strategy backfired on quality control. It turns out the silicon drivers couldn't handle the physical nuances of the assembly line.
It's the classic over-optimization trap. They built a perfect digital model that didn't account for the actual messy reality of a factory floor.
I mean, from an account management side, that's a nightmare. Imagine telling a VP that your autonomous efficiency just tanked your quality rating.
Exactly. And that's why the NMFTA just dropped their 2026 cybersecurity AI governance framework. They're basically telling fleets, stop using shadow AI.
Shadow AI? Sounds like some spy movie stuff. What's the deal?
It's just drivers or dispatchers using unapproved AI tools on the side. The NMFTA wants formal controls, like assigning a human AI owner for every tool.
Actually, the data sovereignty part is the real win here. You can't just let a third-party AI ingest your proprietary route data and hope for the best.
Right. It's about transparency. If the AI makes a high-stakes decision, you need a human to sign off on it, or the liability just explodes.
Here's the deal. If the computer tells me to take a bridge that's too low, I'm not signing off on it. I'm just not going over the bridge.
Fair point, Buck. But for the back office, this framework is the only way to scale without getting hacked by a deepfake broker.
Speaking of real-world stuff, I'm seeing a bit of a renaissance in the energy sector, and I'm talking about the stuff that actually works. Look, we've been hearing about hydrogen for a decade, but the reality check just hit. Air Products just pulled the plug on that $4.5 billion Louisiana complex.
Finally. That project was a speculative mega project based on a perfect world scenario that never materialized.
Exactly. While the hydrogen dream is stalling, RNG, renewable natural gas, is absolutely killing it. In California, they're hitting carbon negative scores.
Wait, negative? Like they're actually removing carbon from the air while they drive?
Basically. They're capturing dairy methane. The report says the CI score is minus 198. It's the most cost-effective way to decarbonize right now.
I mean, that's actually great for the clients. They get the green check mark without the fleet having to buy a bunch of experimental batteries that die in the cold.
I suppose it is a pragmatic win. But we have to remember that RNG is a bridge, not the destination. We still have to deal with the infrastructure gap.
The thing is, the Cummins X15N is a workhorse. It fits the current tanks, it fits the current trucks. It just works. No need to reinvent the wheel.
It's a market play. The industry is moving away from the moonshot tech and back to immediately scalable solutions. It's a pivot to pragmatism.
Which is exactly what GM is doing in Tennessee. I mean, they just put $275 million into the Spring Hill complex, but not for EVs.
Oh, I saw that. They're extending the life of the 2.7-liter turbo engine program. It's a complete retreat from the all-electric by 2030 goal.
Music to my ears. Those turbo engines are the backbone of the Silverado and Sierra. Fleet managers can actually plan their assets now.
Right, and it's a flexible strategy. They're balancing the Lyric EV with high-margin gas SUVs. It's sort of like a hedge against the market.
Look, it's just smart business. Why bet the whole company on a charging grid that doesn't exist yet, when the ICE market is still humming?
Actually, the real risk is the labor side. Look at Volkswagen in Europe. They're doing massive job cuts because Chinese manufacturing is eating their lunch.
That sounds brutal. I mean, if you're a worker in Germany and you see a Chinese EV that's half the price and just as good, well, you know how that goes.
It's a total chess move. Stellantis is even pivoting back into China with Jeep. They're realizing they can't just exit the world's biggest market.
I just hope they remember how to build a truck that can actually take a beating in the mud, not just a shiny city car.
Hey, before we move on, a quick note from our sponsor. Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering. This show is powered by the Stack, developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. Support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media for a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF.
All right, switching gears to the sky. FedEx is doing something that's making the tri-jet enthusiasts lose their minds. They're bringing back the MD-11s.
Now we're talking. The MD-11 is a beast. I always loved the look of those 3 engines.
Buck, they were grounded globally in 2025 after that fatal crash in Louisville. A structural failure in the engine pylon. This is a massive risk.
Right, but FedEx is betting on a Boeing-approved remediation plan. They've got 34 of these airframes and a $90 billion deferred cargo market to capture.
I mean, is it safe? Or are they just desperate for capacity because of the Prime Day surge?
Probably a bit of both. But the real safety nightmare isn't the old planes. It's the new drones. There was a strike at JFK on Monday.
A strike? Like a bird strike?
No, a drone. JetBlue Flight 948 hit a small, shiny object at 3,000 feet on final approach. The pilot reported it right above the cockpit.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. The cool tech of UAS is creating a catastrophic transparency gap in our airspace. We have no way to track these things in real time.
That is terrifying. Imagine being the pilot and just seeing a drone fly into your windshield at 150 miles per hour?
Exactly. And it wasn't a one-off. A helicopter pilot reported a near miss just hours later. The FAA is scrambling, but the tech is moving faster than the regs.
It's the same thing as the pedalless trucks. We're removing the human's ability to react and replacing it with a sensor that can be blinded by a piece of plastic.
Speaking of reacting, let's talk about Saya. They've launched this REV initiative, Rapid, Expanded, and Visible. They're basically trying to engineer their way to the top of LTL.
I love this. They've cut 2,000 transit times across the network. Some lanes went from 5 days down to 3. That's a huge competitive edge.
And the automated guaranteed 10 a.m. delivery is a game changer for my retail clients. If I can promise a VP that their freight is there by 10 a.m. guaranteed, that's a win.
I'm actually impressed by their cargo claims ratio, 0.50%. That shows they aren't just moving fast, they're moving carefully.
I'll believe it when I see the doc reports. Speed usually means things get tossed around. But if they've actually solved the handling issue, that's impressive.
It's all about the tech integration. They've got turn-by-turn visibility and dynamic ETAs. It's turning a commodity service into a strategic product.
Right. It's not just where is my truck. It's exactly where is my truck and when will it hit the dock. That's the level of transparency the market wants.
Well, speaking of the market, let's talk about the road. Operation Safe Driver Week is coming up July 12th to 18th.
The CVSA is focusing on reckless, careless, and dangerous driving. This isn't a hardware check, it's a behavior check.
I've been telling my drivers, put the phones away. If you're caught with a handheld, the driver gets hit for $2,700 and the carrier gets hit for $11,000. That's a brutal hit to the bottom line.
Look, the data is there. Carriers are being told to review their telematics for harsh braking and speeding events now, so they can coach their drivers before the launderers start pulling them over.
It's a bit of a gotcha game, isn't it? The DOT just waits for the week to start and then pounces.
It's not a game, Jules. It's about keeping people alive. I've seen too many guys try to beat the clock and end up in a ditch.
And it's not just the CVSA. We're seeing blue lightning operations on the I-10 corridor, targeting non-domiciled CDL holders and chameleon carriers.
Chameleon carriers. The ones that just change their DOT number to hide a bad safety rating? That's a classic move. But the feds are getting better at spotting the patterns.
Which leads us perfectly into this. Now it's time for Iron Lady's Verdict, our Wednesday segment, where I break down the legal wreckage of the week. Today's verdict is the case of U.S. versus Ivaris Zigmantis. This guy was a Lithuanian national who ran a transnational theft ring that stole over $10 million in copper and liquor.
$10 million? How do you even move that much volume without getting caught?
Because he used a double-blind spoofing method. He didn't just steal trucks. He stole identities. He harvested credentials from small fleets that had great safety ratings, but terrible IT security.
Wait, so he was posing as a legitimate carrier?
Exactly. He created fake domains, like changing one letter in an email address, and posed as a broker to accept high-value loads. He bypassed almost every standard industry safeguard.
That's the silicon driver problem again. The broker just clicks accept on a screen and thinks everything is fine because the safer system says the company is good.
Precisely. And here is the verdict. The court ruled that click to accept onboarding is not enough to mitigate risk. Zigmantis got 5 years and a $10.3 million restitution order.
So now the brokers are on the hook for the theft if they didn't do a deep dive into the identity?
Yes. The Montgomery ruling, combined with this case, means the broker shield is gone. If you didn't verify the human behind the screen, you're liable for the loss. Iron Lady's verdict? That's a wrap. Now let's get to the main event. Today is July 1st, and the logistics world just hit what I call the July 1st cliff. The EU has officially abolished the de minimis rees.
This is huge. For years, you could ship a parcel under 150 euros into the EU and pay zero import duties. That loophole is officially dead today.
I mean, for e-commerce, this is a disaster, right? Most of those parcels are coming from China, about 91% of them.
Exactly. Now, every single B2C parcel under 150 euros faces a flat $3 customs duty per item category. It sounds small, but when you're moving 4.6 billion parcels a year, it's a margin killer.
So the shippers have to do more paperwork now? More forms, more delays.
Much more. They have to provide mandatory item-level customs declarations. No more consolidated manifests. It's a total operational bottleneck.
It's the same thing the U.S. did last August with the $800 exemption. We're seeing a global trend toward forensic compliance. Governments are tired of losing tax revenue to the Amazon effect.
I can see why, but from a customer perspective, their 20 euro gadget from overseas just got more expensive and slower to arrive. That's going to hurt demand.
It's not just about the money. It's about the geopolitical friction. We're seeing the EU and China in these trade and investment consultations because the EU has a €360 billion trade deficit.
So they're using customs rules as a weapon in a trade war. Typical.
Look, it's a strategic move. They're trying to force companies to onshore. Look at Lovesac. They're starting U.S. production of their Sactionals this summer, specifically to avoid this kind of volatility.
That actually makes sense. Why rely on a long international freight cycle when you can just build it in the backyard?
It's a shift toward resilience over raw cost. The era of cheapest possible shipping is ending, and the era of most reliable shipping is beginning.
I can get behind that. I'd rather have a shipment that actually arrives than one that's cheap but stuck in a customs warehouse for 3 weeks.
Bottom line, if you're moving freight into Europe today, your margins just took a hit. Adapt or die.
That does it for us today. We covered the AI quality crash at Ford, the RNG win in Cali, and the total customs meltdown in Europe. Stay flexible out there, folks.
Later.
Peace out.
Bye. Keep the wheels turning.